Oh man, this is another milestone. Some crazy shit's about to happen. So you can see here that I've hooked up the 6 players, and so I have a nice function that, depending on the aspect ratio of the screen, it actually automatically calculates how to size the energy bars. So I've had to make some design decisions here to accommodate this number of players. So basically, these are the decisions I made for this remake of Final Fight. I'm not going to keep time. There isn't going to be a time limit. I don't care. I don't have the space and the UI for it. There's nowhere to put it. It's stupid. It's a relic from arcades when they didn't want somebody just to leave a machine on so somebody else could come and play it, without putting in another quarter. There's absolutely no reason. Fuck it. It's gone. No time limit. And even though I haven't completely decided yet, I'm getting pretty close to considering actually dumping, tracking the scores. I'm not sure. I mean, because look, here's the thing. This is to play for fun. This isn't to make money. I don't care about money. So essentially, the thing is always on free play. You can just keep continuing if you want to keep playing. Why do I care about lives and coins and continues and extra lives? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just a fun game to play through. So I'm strongly considering that. But the thing is, if I do end up doing the scores, I'm gonna have to display the score like above the player, like somewhere in here or something. And because there is a space in the original game, like at the very top here where I'm pointing, where the high score was shown. But I might just say, screw that. Maybe show the high score, like, I don't know, in the bottom right-hand corner or something like that, and then just put the individual player scores above their bars. I don't, maybe something like that. I don't know. But yeah, the cool thing though is that these energy bars that you're seeing here, they would actually be wider if you were playing on a 21:9 monitor, or even wider still if you were playing on a 32:9 aspect ratio monitor. So that is basically the dream. That is why I'm making this, is that I'm just imagining the scenario where somebody has some crazy ass huge 32:9 8,000 width resolution monitor, and is playing 6-player Final Fight, and just the absolute absurdity of it. That's why I'm doing this. That's the dream. And so but yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I might even do something too where like the energy bars dynamically change like as players like drop and join the game, because basically like this is all calculated. Like there's nothing fixed about these energy bars. The size of them in the original game, of course, was like fixed to a certain amount, but this is all actually calculating in real time. Basically, there's 8 pixels of padding on the top and sides, and so you just figure it out. You say, I got 16 pixels for the portrait. I got 8 pixels of padding between each life bar. There's a 1 pixel border at the end of each life bar. And so, you can just do the math and figure out, how you need to size the energy bars. And then basically, when I take away health, it's just going to be a percentage of the width, that I decided, to set these things to, as opposed to like a fixed width amount, where when you take damage. So basically, like if a hit takes, 10 damage, and I decide that, the health is going to be 100, then effectively 10% of this would go away. So that'll be like how that works. So yeah, it's kind of cool seeing the energy bars there. Oh yeah, also you'll notice too that so the original Final Fight's kind of interesting because they had a special font for Hager and Cody and Guy for the energy bars that were different than all the rest of them. But the thing is that I'm gonna let you play as the bosses and the enemies and all that stuff too. And so I don't have like a special font or a special graphic for like Damned and Abigail and all the other bosses. So basically I've replaced this with a generic solution where I'm taking the standard font using the blue palette variation of it, and using that for all the life bars. So it's all consistent. Haggard, Cody, and Guy don't have special different text for their energy bar anymore. And actually, in fact, this way, you could even do it where, I could make it an option where it's like, you could put in your name if you wanted to, or whatever. You could say that, like Bob is player 1 and Jim is player 2, or whatever. Because that's what I'm doing. I actually have like a font, lookup, basically like a, character lookup, for each letter here. And also I have to do some crazy crap to like, so right now the internal resolution of this, like the native resolution of, Final Fight as we're seeing it right now, is actually 512. Because if you make because the original Final Fight was 384 by 224, but if you make the original Final Fight 16 by 9, the aspect ratio, it ends up being 512. And that's why you can see, like all this extra, shit here that would have been cut off if you were playing on a, 4:3 screen. So because of that, I only have 512 pixels to work with here. That's what this all boils down to. However, here's the thing though. I'm also supporting CRT, arcade monitors and so on. And so you can play this version of Final Fight at 384 by 224 if you want to. Like you could play, like if you had a Groovy MAME set up and it was all that was set up, you could actually do that. So, but here's the thing. Each one of these characters, is 8 pixels, wide, right? And so, and Hager, has 6 characters in his name, and so do the math there. Basically, the number of pixels that you have for the energy bar at 384 isn't even going to be enough to show his full name. So I'm also building in something where the names can get truncated. So, in this case, this takes up 48 pixels. But if you play 6-player Final Fight on a 384 by 224 monitor, you actually don't even have 48 pixels for the energy bar. Like the energy bars are going to be, they're going to be ridiculous. They're going to be like this, you have some shit like this. And so, so basically, like when you play 384 by 224 native resolution of the original game, you're going to see something like hag ... because it'll be truncated. It has to be. And so yeah, so that's something that I'll go into in future videos, where I'm doing a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes to make this game completely aspect ratio independent. So you'll also notice like on stage 2, when you go into the ring and fight the Andor guys. So that has, that resolution is fixed. Basically, that background is only 384 by 224. So I'm doing some clever shit to basically, take, the left and right side of those backgrounds, place it in the left and right side of your, really wide screens, and actually have some, repeating tiled background graphics that fills in the gaps in the middle, so that I can actually make any of those fixed width stages any size to fill up any monitor. And also, like, I'm going to be doing some stuff too, like the original game did. Like, if you played the original Final Fight and you're only playing 1 player, when you go into the Andor ring, there's only 2 Andors. But if you're playing 2 player, there's 3 Andors. So of course, like with 6 players, it's going to have to be some crazy crap, like 6 Andors in the ring. This is going to be so nuts when you see this level of activity going on. I mean, look at this. No enemies on the screen right now. Only players. Can you imagine just like the pure chaos of this when everything is firing on all cylinders? Oh, Jesus, it's going to be glorious.